Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Online Racing League. And we are here today with another Grand Prix, and this time we're here in the Netherlands in a new circuit this year. It is season 13, round 8, and we're here for the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. And well, the Formula One hasn't been to Zandvoort for a long time now, but they decided to make a return, so we are here again. And yeah, the drivers for sure are looking to start the qualifying soon. And then after some last checks, we will for sure be able to also take a look at the qualifying. We just had a few complications in the beginning with the with hosting the session and everything, but that should be fine now. We have maybe some last minute guys joining us, maybe, if we can get everything to work. Then we should be fine. But yeah, it's currently still a bit chaotic. But yes, I think now we should be able to start the race, and we should be able to start into the qualifying with only about 15 and a half minutes left. But that's okay, I hope. And yeah, we maybe I just maybe just correct something a little bit, like this, a little bit more there, and then everything hopefully should be fine. If this works, we'll be happy. Yeah, then we can finally start into the Dutch GP, into the qualifying to the Dutch GP. As I said, a relatively new circuit, not to the F1, but it rejoined the calendar, and it brings its special things with it. So, for example, we have a banked turn. There you can see it perfectly. That's the final turn, getting back to the start and finish straight. And well, can have any bit more facts about the circuit. Of course, it's in Zandvoort, as the name says. It's about 4.25 kilometers or 2.64 miles long, and it has 16 turns in the current modification for the F1 GP. And yeah, the last real race lab record is held by Alain Prost in a McLaren from 1985, but they had a little bit different circuit back then. So yeah, since then a lot has changed. So yeah, we're happy to welcome back the Formula One into here. And well, then we can take a look a little bit more onto the drivers. For example, we have today back here Get Owned, who's currently leading the championship. Then We have Were Ace in the Alpha Tauri and Corporal Valenta in the Williams. Crew 6 in the McLaren already retired from the session. I'm not sure why. Sure had some problems there, but hopefully he can fix that. Then we have Svetkov. Hopefully that's correct. He's the regular AlphaTauri driver. Currently has 15 points in the championship. Should try to look to expand this this current standing. Hasn't started a lot, but got already a third place in Austria, in the beautiful Spielberg. So maybe we can look forward to something. To again score 15 points or less. I mean, like, everything above 10th place would be cool. I mean, we're only 12 drivers today, so that means if you're if just 2 cars are behind you, you get 1 point already. And yeah, I think that's pretty good for the drivers, because they get more points, even though it's, of course, it's less traffic and makes maybe a little less fun because there are less people underway. But though, now we maybe take a look at the timings. We have Daniel Valle currently leading with a 1:8.55, the only one in the 1:8s. Then we have F1 kid Michele and Fertenses or Furious. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure about that one. And Tsvetkov in the 1:09 times. And now we have Busek in the 1:10 with a 1:10, and John Bat and Danny R17 in the 1:11. Oh, and there is coming in a new fastest time from Get Owned, a 1:08.812. But as you can see, I hope you can see, the track still looks a little bit wet. So maybe it rained like a little bit before. It is, of course, a little bit of an overcast weather, so the cars don't have the best traction, I think, and therefore we maybe see some rain action even in the race later on, which would be quite interesting. Racing in this game is a little bit more interesting because it got a little bit easier, but that's actually a little more realistic because the cars just got more downforce in the game as it's in reality, so you have a little more grip even in the rain to go around corners, and it's not just being as careful as possible while driving around the corners and not even trying to overtake someone. But now you've even couple of Valentas at a set of time, but I think, and Svetkov, yes, jumped Michele, I think. Oh, and Busek also retired from the session. It's quite a hard track for some people. Going into the walls isn't that is relatively easy, because they're quite close, and even if there are gravel pits, sometimes you're just that fast that these gravel pits can't stop you. And yeah, maybe switch it around a little bit more. Gets a little bit boring just watching one person. We have Michele, I think, on hot lap, and here we're going down this right-hander and the second right-hander, and after that a longer left turn, which you can quite accelerate too early out of, so you can get too far out wide, and then maybe and Ace retired from the session too. What's happening to the guys? But I think Ace retired in the pits or something. So at least that's good. I can just start just taking a quick look at something, and here we're back. Oh, and Michele just stops in his hot lap. Well, then we're watching Daniel going for his hot lap through this very quick combination, and followed by the two right-handers of 9 and 8, and I mean 8, 9, and 10, actually 3 right-handers. There we are, down into a little bit of something like a chicane, not really, but something, in 12 and 13, then through number 14, and finally 15. And he is setting his time, and even gets faster time than Gatound. He's setting the fastest time. The current pole position is a 108.620, and Michele or somebody just switched also the times. And as you maybe can see, this time I got the English version of the game activated before starting the stream, so everyone can understand what's happening. And well, yeah, let's take a look at somebody else. For example, Gedond. He's the one who just slotted behind Daniel, but for sure he just wants this pole position, which is also kind of a little fun fact. Currently, every pole position was by a different driver. So we had 6 GPs, no, it's 7 GPs until now, and we had 7 different pole sitters. So yeah, let's see who gets it this time. Maybe the first one can make it the double pole position for this season. And here a nice helicopter view through the last corner and down to the start and finish line, getting the best out of it. A 109.491 for John Bat. For Jean Bat, sorry, I don't know why, but I pronounced it French because it looked kind of French. And yeah, let's see what Svetkov is doing. Maybe trying to get an LF too, but all of those drivers, oh, a lot of dirt got there with him through a combination of 12 and 13. And now through the final corner, through the back corner. It's actually looking, it looks like you can't take it that fast, but because of the angle, because of the banked state of the corner, you can take it quite fast. And well, I think that's something that Formula 1 doesn't have very often. So yeah, it's something different this time, you know. And with only 4 minutes left, the drivers for sure look to make the best of their current laps. And I think for sure Gedon and Daniel will also come out again for one last try for the fastest lap of today's qualifying. And well, then we get the final action on track before we are heading into the race. And Svetkov can't really pull something out here. He can't improve on his lap. And maybe Michele is trying to improve his lap. Maybe not, I'm not sure about that. Here we're going for turn 8, Followed by turn 9, also right-hander, and another right-hander. Oh, that was the 50-meter sign, and that was a little bit wide, and that's a little bit slippery now. A lot of dirt and grass taken onto the track, but luckily Nicola could hold his car on the track, not crash into the barriers, but that's not a hot lap anymore. That's not a hot lap anymore. But who can we watch? Who can we watch? Daniel 17 is on an out lap, but on 3 laps on soft. No way. So I think that's the game again. Or wait, I no, gap, detail, fitted. That's what I wanted. So we always saw the wrong tire. Now it's unfitted, and now only the fitted tire should be shown on screen. And you can see Danny is currently out on a medium tire, trying to set a faster lap than before. And Danny got owned. Oh, Nicola retired from the session, but in the pits, so everything is fine, I think. And Danny is going for the last 2 corners, 12 and 13. To finalize his lap and hopefully get a better time than before, because then he could choose then he has the mediums as starting tires, and he does with a 109.357. We can for sure immediately watch the F1 kit going around the track of the Netherlands, Zandvoort, through this left-hander, through the 11th turn off the circuit, again breaking down into this hairpinny kind of combination of corners, and then finalizing the lap in 3rd sector with going around the bank turn, activating DRS, and completely, oh, I think his DRS went off there for a second, so, but it's still 2nd place, 2nd spot, still on the first in the first grid row. But let's see who can pull out a better time. I mean, Daniel's already out there. Gadon will try another lap behind Daniel, because they're currently making their way through the 1st sector. 2nd sector is actually pretty short. And therefore there will be very quick times, but the qualifying has finished. Everyone has now this last lap to drive over the start and finish line and finalize the lap, get the last 10th out of this circuit, and now we'll see who will be the real pole sitter for today. And it sure looks like it's Daniel Valle, but there's someone who doesn't want that to happen, which is Gedound, and he takes the pole position. Gedound sits currently on pole position. There's still people out there who could take that place away from him, but I sure think Gedound has this place. We have the only guy out there is Pretentious or Furious, who is going for the pits. So we have our final order here, which is Gedound and Daniel together in the 1st grid row, then Tsvetkov and F1 Kid in the 2nd grid row, Dimar, Furious or Fertensis, I think it's Furious, Fertensis doesn't make any sense, Furious and Danny are 17 together in the 3rd grid row. Jean Bat and Michele in the 4th grid row. Busek and Valanta, both from Caprel, in the 5th grid row, and the last grid row are Crucix and We're Ace. And while we're waiting for the drivers to get into the race and get their preparations done, I will hand over the word to our sponsors from HyperX, who are providing us with the best game equipment you can find on the planet. And yeah, well, I just let them introduce themselves. So there you have it, mouses, keyboards, headphones, everything you need, headsets. Also, of course, available wireless, and we are currently watching the first guys driving around the Zandvoort circuit for a formation lap, and as usual, the game has taken me my telemetry and lap data. We are looking for the position change for the first few laps around this beautiful circuit with, well, there's a lot of up and downs throughout the circuit. I think more than on other Formula 1 tracks. But yeah, I mean, that's what the drivers have to deal with today. And I have to say, it doesn't look that beautiful out there. The weather isn't that shiny. There is no sun in sight. It's very, very cloudy. Looks like the overcast weather simulation of the game. So, as said in the qualifying, we may be looking for some rain into later on into the race. I mean, of course, the start will be a dry one, as far as it looks at the moment. But that's everything we as a spectator can know. And yeah, they're just now lining up for a final ride around the circuit for the race. No more preparation, this is it. And then they're going for it. For the Dutch GP. And there we have it. 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights. And there are the 5 lights, and here we go. It's time to race, and with a little bit of a delay or something, I'm not sure, the game has his things. Ghetto is leading out the Grand Prix, and we're watching here through the busy first corner with a lot of drivers going out here. But we're still without any damage, I hope so. Gene Bat looks like he's swapped down a lot. Still battles behind there. But it looks quite clear now at the moment. We have a nice lineup now. Through this very, very quick first combination of corners. Looks very dangerously how the cars are driving around those. Ooh! Looks like someone's gone off track there. Furious, I think. Looks like he has gone off track for a second there. a little mistake cost him a few places because it's still everything so close together, and not really fighting for positions at the moment. But of course, any mistake can cost you a lot of positions just because you're getting so slow and everyone else is driving the race line. And of course, we have the first fastest lap from Get Owned, which will for sure be topped by the next lap. Oh, and we have a little bit of a mashup in the first corner. Oh, and Daniel Valles has fallen completely to the back of the complete grid. We had something. We had a little bit of a mashup into turn 1, and there's a predictor pitch stop strategies, a soft to hard, or a double soft and medium strategy. Or of course, as some of our drivers are trying to do it. Wrong button again. A medium to soft or hard to soft strategy. Ooh, that was a lot of oversteer by Tsvetkov, who's going for the pit now. No, yes, it's Tsvetkov who's going for the pit now. That looked dangerous. He maybe got some damage on the wing. That may be the reason for this turn 1 incident the lap before. But luckily we're in lap 3 and still without a safety car. And there at the back is some fight. Daniel Valle has overtaken Capo Volanta, I think. But those three are still battling. Doesn't look like someone is confident with their place. Whereas is looking for way past of Caprol Volanta, but can't quite find one. And the sound is a little bit buggy, but that's okay. And there he is, right beside of Volanta, and has now passed him with a beautiful exit out of this curve. Turn. Oh, and a mistake. Landed in the gravel pit, but still in front of Volanta. Still in front. But that could have cost him the place. But it looks like he's a quicker driver, so should be able to recover from that little mistake there and get back into racing speed. And because we're now in lap 4, the DRS should be activated last lap, and the driver should be able now to open the rear wing onto the main straight and onto the straight between corner 11 and 12. And now we can maybe switch back from the guys at the back. We can take a look at the front. Track's looking a little bit wet still. Here's the chicane-like thing. It's not really a chicane. It's a really tight right-hander, a 90-degree right-hander, followed by a 180-degree turn to the left. And Garon is leading this thing, and it looks so easy for him with the 3.5 second gap to get the F1 kit. Dashing down through this fast section of the Zandvoort circuit. And behind him, the only ones who kind of can get close to him are F1 and Danny. And even though they're the closest, they still have a huge gap to him, but they also already drove out a huge gap to the guys behind both of them. So the Ferraris have a little bit of space, and the Mercedes at the front has a lot of space to have some room for errors, or just drive a little bit more cooler, not that much onto the push. But oh, we have an incident there. Somewhere there on the left. Oh, and there he is. Hit the wall. He hit the wall in full speed and therefore couldn't hold his car on the track. Busek is out of the current Grand Prix. Now we can look back, not only really at the front, but at the midfield group, who are still so tight together that they're able to battle. And the Haas of Furious is attacking Michele. And well, maybe unlike in real life, the Haas will be able to look for a move past the Mercedes, but now it just looked like Krusix can get dangerous for Furious, because he is taking advantage out of Furious's mistakes, because he's trying to overtake Michele, and that will be a really interesting fight now. I mean, of course the better driver will win, but we see here very clean racing, and we just wait for one driver to make a little mistake so that another one can at least side by side him, maybe get the better run out of the next corner. But it doesn't look like this is going to happen that soon. So we just have to wait a minute, because those guys are still chasing each other around the circuit, and someone will make a mistake, and there will be an opportunity to overtake. But for now, the most important thing is to stay on the track, and then we can for sure look soon into strategy, into who pits when and into what tire, because the softs, well, they will hold for a little bit more, but not that long. I think about 5 laps maximum, maybe a little bit more, because pit stop strategy suggested to go into the pit at lap 11, if I remember correctly. But currently that doesn't really look like, but well, it does look like that could be true. And there the driver's always cutting a little bit of the grass, because the track is not that wide, and of course Formula 1 drivers are using every inch of space you get on the track. So yeah, well, if it's a little bit faster to touch the grass a little bit, well, then just do it, go for it. It will be way through the next corners and your tire will be clean again. Now going for the 180, a little bit of a lock up there from Daniel Valle, I think, was it? And well, now it doesn't really look like Furious has a chance to overtake Michele, but it, well, now they switch around a lot. Sometimes Krusix is a little bit closer to Furious, sometimes Furious is a little bit closer to Michele. That will be very interesting later on. Who gets the advantage out of that? Because of course, I'm not sure, I don't know which one of those is actually the fastest driver. I mean, if Michele is the fastest one, this is for sure good for Krusix and Furious, because they're kind of getting, they're a little bit faster, because they can drive in the slipstream and the DRS window of a faster car, and maybe even take a glance at the racing lane that Michele is taking. so they can maybe improve their own. But of course, if theirs is better than Michele's, then do not improve with something wrong. That's always the thing about racing. You shouldn't mirror your opponent who's driving in front of you, because then you can't be slower. And there was a little bit of a look from Furious down the inside. Maybe next turn. Next real turn, of course. Those are really quick turns, and you're going nearly full throttle here. But also Crew 6 is closing in, and a lot of lockups. And there's Crew 6. Oh, a little bit of touching there. Not really nice. And Gene Bath just retired from the session. Oh, and I think it might be Daniel, who's going now down the inside here. Had a long side-by-side fight with Crew 6, but is now in front of Crew 6 and holding his position there. Crew 6 has fallen back a little bit as we are going for lap 11, and as I said, the pit stop window is now open for the softs to change Italy to the hard. But I don't think most of drivers are aiming for that. They may be even trying to do a soft medium strategy, but the soft medium strategy got a little less common this game, I have to say, than in the last, because, well, it's not possible that often anymore, because and a big lock up there down the inside from Daniel Valle, and therefore he can't get past Furious. And there's Crew 6 again. Crew 6 maybe is able to take a look now at Daniel Valle. Not yet, but maybe soon. He has of course now DRS. He's for sure in the window. Oh, and with an overtake in the Ferraris, the F1 kit is now going into the pits as is Get Owned, and they are both leaving Danny the lead. And Get Owned gets the clean air, gets a fresh new lap without a lot of drivers in front of him. The next ones are into a little bit further ahead, so he has a clean out lap. Very important for strategy later on. But wait, we have a very tight battle, and it's Where Ace against the F1 kid. Where Ace is a reserve driver, but I think he already collected some points. Yes, he did. 2 and counting, of course. And well, yeah, we're for sure looking forward to seeing collect a little bit more points, because currently it's looking quite good for him in 6th position. And there we have it. Michele is going for the pits too, so slotting back, and let's see if he can still hold his position in front of at least Daniel Valle. And does he? Oh, that's going to be a tight one. That's going to be a tight one, as is this one. But Daniel did it. And got past Michele after the pit stop. So we might even had a little bit of pit stop loser, Michele. Oh, and that was a lot of grass from the AlphaTauri of Juarez, and the F1 kid got past him therefore. But of course, the AlphaTauris are not gonna give up after the win of Pierre Gasly last week. The AlphaTauris are very motivated to stay on track and get this win. Well, maybe not the win, but every point is is an achievement for those drivers, and yeah, they're for sure going to look forward to this. But there's another battle going on. Only Crew 6 is battling for Furious for second place, as Daniel Valle is driving the fastest lap of the race on hard tires. Well, that's interesting. But yeah, let's see. And there we have it. No, not really a look, but Crew 6 is there. Crew 6 will try to overtake Furious every time now, every moment. He's so close. He nearly clips his own front wing and goes there over the curb. Takes a lot of the curb and maybe even does the overtake. Yes, he is in front. Going through the inside there really did the trick for him. And there, Gerard did it too. In the same moment, not really the same moment, but really close to um, the success of Crew 6. We have now Gerard back on the current podium. Meanwhile, they're back. Daniel Valley and Werace are fighting, or letting people pass. Werace did make a mistake, I think. That's why Daniel Valley and Michele got past him. And with again a close three-way battle here at the front, actually, not for the lead. The lead is still in the hands of Danny or 17 with 14 lap old mediums. Not sure what his strategy is, but he for sure can take a few laps until lap 20 or something, or even a little bit longer, which would be quite interesting, because that would maybe the reverse strategy of Furious, because he's currently out on 15 lap old softs, and there we have it. Crew 6 going down inside, get on round the outside, get on trying to get back that second position, but Crew 6 holds it. Crew 6 holds his position and defends back, and oh, and with speeding penalty from Werace, who's now changing 15 lap old mediums against hards, right? Well, I think the softs wouldn't bring 20 laps until the end, so yeah, will be the hards. But this battle is far away from not continuing. And Michele left the session. Oh, what happened? I for sure hope everything is alright. Hope it's not any severe connection problem, but there we have it, getting past that McLaren, bombing down the straight through the inside of turn number 1. Beautiful overtaken with the help of DRS, and well, there we have it. Gedon now back into second place with the current net leader, because Crew 6 actually didn't pit yet, so he basically went on those 16 lap old hards since the beginning, and yeah, with a little bit of change again in the back, Michele and Werace. Looks like Michele is a little bit off track. I'm not sure about that, but we can switch a little bit further back now, maybe to Daniel Valle, because it's looking kind of hot here, chasing the AlphaTauri of Tsvetkov. As Gedon
sets a new fastest lap with a 1:11.4, I think, was it? Didn't remember to no, at 1:11.859 for Get Owned on the hard tire. Well, maybe the other ones have a chance to set even faster lap with the medium or soft tire even, because we still have harder runners out there like Crew 6 who are going to the soft tire for sure. And I think Danny is also trying to go for the softs at about lap 20 or a little bit later, because he's also really pushing the medium a little bit more than the others at least. And then we'll for sure see. Svetkov is surely also going to the softs after this stint on mediums, and yeah, that's basically the strategy for everyone. Most guys on hards now can drive until the end, except for Crew 6 of course. But the hard should last like 25 laps, I think. Yes, so that's what the normal strategy would predict. And yeah, now still Daniel's chasing Svetkov, and we're waiting basically for the last people to get into the pit for the pit stops. That would be Svetkov, Danny, Crew 6, and that's it basically. Those are the last guys to come in. And if they were in the pits, we can go on a little bit further for sure, and Gideon will fall back into first position, and well, there will still be a lot of space between him and the guy in second, because Crew 6 will also fall back as Danny, and then we have the current order, which will basically be something like Gideon F1 kid, and then, well, then it's Daniel Valle, because Daniel is still fighting Svetkov, but Svetkov is on the 16 laps old mediums, so he has to get in the next few laps. And as I'm telling you that, I'm expecting the other guys, the medium runner Danny, to get in, because he could now go for the soft. I think someone of the other guys already went for, yes, 16 laps on the softs, and there we have it. Danny is going for the pit stop, changing to the soft tire, going for a medium to soft strategy, a classic one, classic reverse one. And there we have Daniel doing a beautiful overtake, even with a little bit of lockout, but though a beautiful overtake through turn number 1. And well, with Danny having stopped, we now have Gedon back into first place, back being not only the net leader but the real leader on track. Oh, and Daniel's driving in new purple sector number 1. Maybe he can do even a purple sector number 2, would be kind of amazing. Even though he did the overtake through corner 1 number 1, he had this purple sector, so yeah, really good time. No, this time only a personal best, but let's see what he can do around the last 2 bends, going through the start and finish straight, and it's not a quicker time than the fast lap on still get out, I think. But yeah, enough to be satisfied for now. But I will take a look a little further up to a Ferrari battle of F1K and Danny. But Danny is on soft tires, so actually he should be faster. But, well, you know, if one could just says no, he isn't faster, I'm the fast one. And he's, of course, looking for that third place, looking for that podium. And I'm seeing people being confused in the chat where the F1 stream is, but I'm sorry, can't really give you information about that. Seems like they had a few problems. Some of the new fastest time from Danny or 17, 111, 134. They must have some technical issues. Therefore, just be patient. I hope GU gets everything worked out, and yeah, we'll see. Hopefully he noticed that the stream went down, but I think he will somehow manage to get it back online. But yeah, back to the race. We have now still one pit stop to go, which will be crew 6, and that's around lap 25, I think, I assume, because that's basically the reverse strategy of what the others did at the beginning. But of course he can make that stint a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. Now Danny's really close to crew 6, and there he goes past crew 6, bombing down the main straight next to the pit lane. Got the overtake beautifully done, and a purple sector 3. Well, with your soft tires you can easily overtake a guy on 23 laps old hards. And now with the 24th lap, we are entering the last third of the race. We've been racing for, and again, another purple time for Danny. We've been racing now for 24 laps, and stream's going on for about an hour. At least the active stream. We had a little delay at the beginning, but now we're back on track with 12 people. 2 of them unfortunately DNF'd, had some crashes, but we had no safety cars yet. So yeah, something new. We had 2 in the last race, now none. There he is, there's crew 6 going for the pit stop as predicted in lap 25. Going for, of course, the soft tire. But basically what the 2 DNFs mean is that everyone, literally everyone, and with a new fastest time from Svetkov, a 1:10.907. Oh, that's a new slot of times in the 1:10 times. Of course not as fast in the qualifying, but that's completely normal. And yeah, the thing is, we are now in the final laps. Crew 6 has now started back into 6th position. We have the now complete order, I think. No one should be stopping anymore. It should be unnecessary, except some damage. We have Gedon on P1, Danny on P2, and F1K on P3. And yeah, maybe Danny has the opportunity to take a look at Gedon. I'm not sure about that, but maybe. And he can try to do an overtake. I mean, he's on the soft tires and he's closing in at least a little bit, but he has still 10 laps time, about 10 minutes only on this track, but still 10 laps to go for the overtake. But we now maybe take a look back at Crew 6, because he also has now new softs. Went back from being the slow guy with the very old hards to the fast guy with the very new softs, and is now chasing the House of Furious. And maybe we'll see a overtake soon, because we're now going into the DRS zone, and he for sure has it, because he's only 2/10 away from him. But I think that's not enough currently, and but on the main straight, if he gets a better exit than him out of the 14th corner here, because then you don't brake anymore, and maybe we'll see. Oh, there we go. There we have it. Crew 6 down and round the outside into the first corner, and he makes the move. Looks like Furious lost a lot of speed then down there into the first corner, and doesn't really even fight back. So we have now Crew 6 in P5, and he's sure chasing after Daniel, but it's a little bit unreachable. At least I think so, because it's 10 seconds and with about 10 laps to go, so he has to be at least closing in about 1 second a lap, and I think that is not gonna happen. But well, if we look at the front, Danny is closing in on Get Owned, even though if it's just a little bit, but still is more than nothing. And yeah, going around again. Oh, and we have another pit stop of Furious. Oh, did he get a little front wing damage there with the fight with Crew 6 down into turn number 1? Could be possible. Now going for softs and getting the best out of his car now. Maybe also trying to do another fastest lap of the race, because why not? He basically has the time and of course the tire to get that one little extra point. And yeah, now it's basically a little bit boring, because the cars are all driving down lap after lap, going for going into the last few minutes, trying to hold on to the concentration, do not do any mistakes, and keeping the car safe on track and controllable, not locking up like this, is also something you should do. And well, they are all keeping that in mind and trying to do that, but of course the thing is that we're now racing for an hour, and that is a lot of concentration. You still need to be focused until then. Of course, the real F1 drivers have a real more challenge, because they're driving longer and they're sitting in real cars with, depending on the country, up to 60 degrees Celsius of heat. And yeah, that's not really comfortable actually, to sit around in 60-degree heat. And well, that's what the real ones have to cope with, but those guys just need to stay concentrated in front of the PCs, which can be, of course, a little bit hard too. and we have another fastest lap of 1:10.605, 604 from Furious. And as I said, he took these softs just to go for a few quickest laps, or a few quick laps, to get the record straight. Um, but now we maybe can slowly take a look at Danny there in front, because we can literally see that he's closing in on Get Owned, and he's not really closing in slow. So basically, in the last 10 laps, he closed easily 1.5 seconds in, and he for sure can do that again the next few laps, with his much better tires, because even though they're both now getting used, the tires, um, the cars of course way much slower, and they're also 18 laps old, so basically they're also not the freshest anymore, as are the softs, um, which you should put aside actually at around lap like 12, 13. But of course you can drive a little bit longer, but you won't have the grip of a real soft tire then anymore. And yeah, we're seeing there, um, going around the last few bends of the circuit of Zandvoort, and yeah, we're now actually just waiting for the counter to count up to lap 36. And I mean, we have four, well, and now it's still 5 laps. This one has to be ended as well, and with a little bit of an incident in sector 1 with the, oh, we have a safety car. Well, there is there is no race without a safety car, and hopefully the safety car is getting in lap 35, because it would be really boring to have a ending of the race behind the safety car. But of course that is also possible, but we will see. No, that is the safety car there, now waiting for the current leader, which is at the moment Get Owned. And as soon as he approaches, the safety car will get moving again. But of course that shakes it up a little bit now, because Danny is now really close, not just a little close, he's in the DRS window. Well, the DRS won't be activated for the rest of the Grand Prix anymore, but he should be still in the DRS window. And, but yeah. Oh, it's a pit stops there. They're going for pit stops. But Danny's staying out. No, Danny is also going for new softs. He saw coming what Gedon was doing, so he tried to do. But now the F1 kit is in the lead. But that's not an interesting situation. That's now a really interesting situation with a lot, and like everyone out there on fresh soft tires. But except for the F1 kit, which is now in the lead directly behind the safety car, but that could be problematic actually, because I mean he's really slow in the hards, and they have fresh softs. That's like the biggest difference in tire you can actually have. 20 laps old hards, really used, really old, like not fast at all, and even a Haas could overtake a Mercedes with them. Not really, but yeah, that will be a real fight at the beginning of the last few laps without the safety car. As soon as the safety car comes in, especially for Wonka, because he can't really do anything about the exit out of the last few corners from everyone behind him, because they will be just so quick, because they have so much better tires, because now Well, it's safety car. You can conserve some tire, and don't need to go full throttle and full everything. So we're just waiting for the safety cars to come in, but actually I think it's still waiting for the Haas and the AlphaTauri to close in at the back. And oh, we have a little bit of an incident there, I think. Oh yeah, they had an incident. Svetkov and Michele. That didn't look that. Ooh, Michele has a missing front wing. That is not good news. Well, why is Race in front of Michele? Is it because Michele has been lapped by like everyone? Except for Race. Because Vertentious is in front of Michele. And that means that Michele has like no real chance on the podium anymore. But now they're really careful, I think, and I hope. No, and everyone is back aligned, and I think now the safety car could come in because everyone is there, and it should give the signal right now. But I think it's going for or did I miss it? I missed it, I think. Safety car is going in, and we will see a restart right now. We will see a restart. I mean, the F1 kid really has to start now in his hands, but oh, was a crash back there, a little bit of a crash. We have a chase. Did you see that? It's amazing. Going down here, and of course, get on this going down the inside. Oh, and a lot of cars going completely across the track. Now a lot of action now. In the last few laps, we get the much action we didn't see all race long. And we've still currently battle with Danny and Krusix. But Krusix is starting now in front of Danny. And Geddown is still trying to get past the Fonke. Because the Fonke seems to be holding really good in front of him, even though Geddown has the softer tire. But now Geddown is going down the ends. Ooh! And a massive lockup. No, not really. Oh. That was a big mistake, and that cost him the lead. That cost him everything. That was his whole Grand Prix thrown away. That was his whole Grand Prix thrown away. That is devastating. It was... He spun... Oh, that was... all... That's so mad. That's so sad. I'm mad. Oh my god, that's so crazy. Those last bits of the Grand Prix are really giving me everything. I mean, like, look at that. If one kid, just because he didn't pit, he wins the Grand Prix just because of his strategy decision of not going into the pits. And at least if he can hold this now. Can he hold this? Can he hold this around the outside? Yes, he can. He still can. And he's still in front. Even though he's on the hard tires, he's on the really old hard tires. And he still holds it, he still defends it. Everyone is faster, you see it. And there he is. There's Daniel. And there's Daniel in front of him. Oh no. That's it. Krusix and Daniel passed him. And now that's it for the Dutch Grand Prix with a very unexpected Krusix F1 kit, and then Ace, including the 5-second time penalties, and Furious sets a 1:10 for the last time that we see today. Well, that was an amazing race, especially at the end. Krusix gets the driver of the day from the game, and we're now looking at actually Crew 6, who got the first place. There we have it, and there is the F1 kit, also on the podium, being second, and to the right there's the Race in the AlphaTauri, and we spoke of him to get some points. Well, there he is up there on the podium, getting 15 points for getting third, and there we have it finally. We have Crew 6 on with Crew 6 on P1, F1 kit on P2, Race on P3. I am sorry to interrupt, but yeah, well, let's do that. Quick race director. Race on P3, Furious on P4, P5 is Daniel Valle, Svetkov is P6, Gedon is P7, Daniel 17 is 8th, Michele is 9th, and with Valenta, Jean Bat, and Busek all DNF'd the last 3. And that should be it, at least for today, with round 8 here of the ORL Online Racing League Season 13. I hope I can see you. You will hear me again next week. We'll be again on Sundays, I think, for the next round 9 in the. Sorry, I actually have to look that up. And we are going to Spain next week. So yeah, back staying in Europe, going to Spain for the circuit, the Barcelona Catalunya, and yeah. I'm hoping to see you there again, and that's been it from me, Manuel, and I hope to see you again next week, as said, in Spain. And that was the ORL Round 8 Season 13, the Dutch GP, sponsored by HyperX, high-end gaming gear provider. I wish you a good night, and yeah, see you next week, folks.